Today, we need to talk about selective outrage. Not from politicians this time, but from the so-called independent legal analysts that major media networks parade around as truth tellers. Because while New York Attorney General Letitia James is under investigation for what appears to be a clear-cut case of mortgage fraud, however, CNN legal analyst Elie Honig, former prosecutor, mind you, is out here playing defense attorney. And not for justice, but for politics. Welcome to Nellie Miranda. Before we get into this video, please make sure you like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. So in a recent piece for New York Magazine, Honig argues that the DOJ's interest in Letitia James is nothing more than political payback. It's a revenge tour by the Trump administration. But here's the thing. He doesn't even mention the evidence. Not the documents, not the sworn statements, not the internal contradictions, nothing. He pretends as if we're talking about rumors, and we're not. We're not talking about allegations just pulled from thin air. We're talking about paper trails.
This investigation into me is nothing more than retribution. It's baseless.
The probe centers on charges she falsified records related to her home in Brooklyn and loan documents for a Virginia property she was co-signing for a niece.
It has to do with the fact that on a power of attorney, I mistakenly indicated that I was a state of Virginia, but prior to that, I had indicated to the mortgage broker that, in fact, in bold cap letters, that I am not a resident of Virginia and never will be.
Letitia James signed a legal document, a sworn affidavit, saying she was going to make a house in Virginia her primary residence. But just 2 weeks earlier, she wrote in an email that she would not be using it as her primary residence. Like, that's not just shady. That's a direct violation of federal law. And that kind of false statement to a federally backed lender is a felony. And you can get up to 30 years in prison. But did Elie Honig mention any of that? Nope. He skips over the timeline, he skips over the paperwork, and he skips over the conflict of interest. Why? Well, you already know, because Letitia James has a D next to her name. So instead, this is what he says, and I'm going to read you a portion of the article. He says, I have no idea if James ultimately will find herself on the other side of an indictment. The former prosecutor in me sees Pulte's allegations as something more than frivolous, but decidedly less than compelling at this point. Then again, Trump has openly pinned for a payback prosecution, and it's hard to envision Bondi in the Justice Department denying him the thrill of retribution in the name of measured prosecutorial discretion. He also goes on to say, if the feds do indict James, they're going to have a hellacious time convicting her. The evidence, as we currently know, it is decidedly mixed. Whereas prosecutors must prove criminal intent beyond a reasonable doubt, and James remains a popular political figure in New York who has twice been elected comfortably to statewide office as AG in 2018 and 2022. It will be tough finding a jury willing to convict unanimously. James was wrong to target Trump politically from her perch as AG, but that gives Trump no license to pay her back with an equally ill-motivated prosecution. Weaponization is no antidote to weaponization. James started this retributive mess, but this is no way to end it. Wait a second. He's telling me that he feels as if Letitia James did absolutely nothing wrong. People go to jail for smaller fraud than that. You know how insane that is? But let's keep going. This is not her only problem. James owns a multifamily property in Brooklyn, a 5-unit building. That's what the New York Department of Buildings classify it as. But on legal findings and loan documents, she calls it a 4-unit property. She's literally skirting the system to get better loan terms. Okay, you try doing that and see what happens. But again, Honig doesn't touch it. Instead, he hand waves this entire scandal as mixed and less than compelling. Hold on, I'm sorry. Lying on mortgage documents to obtain a federally backed loan isn't compelling. Imagine if a Republican did this. CNN would be running wall-to-wall coverage every single day with graphics like mortgage gate and countdowns to indictment. But because it's Letitia James, because she went after Trump, because she talks the right progressive talk, suddenly facts don't matter. And this is what's truly dangerous here. It's not just that a top state official might have committed mortgage fraud. It's that the media establishment is actively suppressing the evidence to protect their political ally. Elie Honig used to be a prosecutor. He knows how to follow a paper trail. He knows what it means when someone says one thing in writing, then swears to the opposite under penalty of perjury. He knows exactly what this is, but he looked at it all, and instead of reporting it, he filtered it through politics. And that's why this matters. Because if we're going to have two standards of justice, one for Democrats and one for everyone else, we no longer have a republic. We have a regime. So here's the bottom line. Letitia James should be investigated, not protected. And Elie Honig, he should pick a lane. Either be a journalist or go apply for a job at her legal defense fund. Because justice should be blind, and prosecutors, politicians, and the press should be held to the same standards as the rest of us. If I can go to jail for stealing a bag of chips, then politicians should be in prison for mortgage fraud. Do you think Letitia James should face consequences, or is this just another case of the media circling the wagon? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if honest commentary brings you value, please like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.